A coroner's inquest today ruled 6 Henderson officers were justified in shooting and killing a woman after she led them on a crime spree. A huge tornado touched down just southwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex this evening. The victims, who range in age from 13 to 52, are recovering from the chaos. One of them talking only to News Center 25. It's a story you will see first right here on News Center 25. An autopsy was performed on Gwen this morning, but the results will not be released for a couple of weeks. Tonight, 300 people are confirmed dead, and the numbers are expected to continue rising. We do have some breaking news from London concerning the royal wedding. At least 3 people scheduled to attend there have been arrested. A company struggling homeowners turn to for help has been shut down by the state. Golden Arches serving up more than just Big Macs and fries. They're also serving up jobs. Osama bin Laden, the mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks, was shot dead Sunday by U.S. Special Forces. Maybe the Burger King woman should have teamed up with him somehow and, put the mask over her face. And we're kicking things off this Monday night at 6 with breaking news. A portion of Loop 463 is closed right now after an 18-wheeler jackknifed this afternoon. Here's what we know right now. The accident happened around 3 o'clock and involved that 18-wheeler and a pickup truck. Texas DPS troopers on the scene tell News Center 25 the pickup truck collided with that 18-wheeler, causing it to jackknife into the guardrail. Traffic, we're told, is being diverted onto service roads so crews can continue to clean up that scene. As of right now, there are no reports of any injuries. The accident is still under investigation. We're going to continue to follow the latest on this developing breaking news. We're going to have the latest tonight on News Center 25 at 10 o'clock.
News Center 25, your hometown news.
The state of our union is getting stronger, and we've come too far to turn back now.
Saying no challenge is tough for America, President Obama addresses the nation in his 3rd State of the Union address. We'll have a complete wrap-up of the president's speech in just a few moments. But we begin tonight with weather, where we are tracking storms. Big changes are in store for your forecasts overnight. Good evening, and thanks for joining us for News Center 25 at 10. I'm Jonathan McCall. New tonight, 10 o'clock, a 3.6 magnitude earthquake hit a remote part of West Texas today. So far, there are no reports of any injuries or damages. Officials with the U.S. Geological Survey says the quake hit just after noon near Alpine, which is near Big Bend National Park. Another quake hit the same area just a year ago. Tonight, there's a warning for Cuero residents. The next time you pick up the phone, a scammer could be on the other end looking to take advantage of you. Cuero residents say they've been receiving tons of calls recently that are being traced back to Jamaica. According to Cuero police, the alleged scammers claim to have received large amounts of prize money. Police say the calls are not just coming from Jamaica, but also Canada and even Nigeria. Police say the scammers can be aggressive, persistent, and will continue to call back. Cuero police say make sure you don't provide any personal information to those scammers over the phone and to contact police if those calls continue. North Texas police are investigating the manager of a pizza restaurant accused of using his iPhone to videotape female employees changing. Rockwall police say 28-year-old Charles Ewing used his phone to secretly record at least one employee changing clothes. Police are trying to see if more victims may be involved. Police say so far the same woman who discovered the camera is the only one seen on the phone. Tonight, Ewing is out of jail on bond, facing felony charges of illegal recording. New tonight, 10 o'clock, Secret Service agents arrest a man with a gun right outside the home of former President George W. Bush's Dallas home. The man said he was attempting to deliver a, quote, spiritual message to the former president. Agents searched the man's car and found a weapon, but does have a concealed weapons license here in Texas. The Secret Service is continuing to question the man for more information, but do not believe he was a threat to the former president. Former President Bush and former First Lady Laura Bush were both.
News Center 25, your hometown news with Jonathan McCall.
The stakes have never been higher for President Obama in his 3rd and potentially final State of the Union address. As for the Republicans looking to replace President Obama in the White House, the attention is on Florida. Under pressure from his rivals, Mitt Romney released his tax records today. In his 2010 and 2011 returns, Romney earned more than $42 million and paid $6 million in taxes. The presidential hopeful makes more in one day than the average American makes in a year. Speaking to voters in Florida, Romney accused President Obama of playing class warfare. Newt Gingrich also released his contract for his work with mortgage giant Freddie Mac, an agency some hold responsible for the near collapse of the U.S. financial system back in 2008. Ahead of next week's Florida primary, Gingrich and Romney are in a statistical dead heat in the latest Gallup poll. Gingrich has all but erased Romney's recent double-digit lead among Republican voters nationally. A 16th body has been found on board the sunken cruise ship Costa Concordia. 16 people remain missing. Italian Coast Guard officials say 6 of the bodies are so badly decomposed that they are unidentifiable. A large platform carrying a crane and other equipment has attached itself atop of the cruise ship to start removing more than 500,000 gallons of fuel from the ship, which is expected to take more than a month to complete. You may remember the Concordia ran aground and capsized off the coast of Italy back on January 13th. 4,200 passengers, I should say, were on board at the time. You guys are going to be here throughout the entire night watching this very carefully, and if need be, we will cut into programming just to give you a heads up on what's going on out there.
That's correct.
Bring some pillows and cots for you, maybe.
Yeah.
Coffee,
If I'm still awake by then.
Yeah.
Phil, thanks so much.
It'll cheer us on.
All right, here's the story that may not make Rissa happy. Actually, it hasn't already made her happy. Ready or not, Facebook is changing again. How many times can this thing change? I don't know.
Like 5 times.
I don't know. All right. The social media site Timeline feature is going to become mandatory for all users soon. Right now, you can opt in, but in a few weeks, guess what? You're not going to have a choice. Sorry, Rissa. Once you get the Timeline, you'll have 7 days before it goes live. During that time, users can hide things that you want hidden for the rest of the world not to see. One of the biggest changes with the Timeline is your old post. Photos and comments will become easily accessed. It sounds like a story that just is hard to imagine, but it is so true. Another delivery that could be coming soon to some Texans: mail. If you've never received a piece of mail and always wondered where it was likely here in the garage of Karen Samford. You see, Samford used to work as a postal worker, and instead of delivering the mail, she started saving some of it in her office and then more of it in her garage. Samford admitted she has a hoarding problem, but is working on making things right. She's going to deliver every single one of these pieces of mail she's been holding on to for the past 10 years. There's no word on how long it may take Stamford to deliver every single one of those pieces of mail, and there's also no word on if she will face any charges for hoarding that mail as well. But the fact that they're going to save this car and give it to her 18 years down the road, that's going to be very interesting. All right, we'll be tracking storms. Have a great night, everyone. That fog isn't good news for Texas motorists who are driving on Texas highways, which are quickly becoming deadly this holiday season. For the 3rd time this week and the 2nd time in less than 24 hours, crossroads highways have been the scene of fatal crashes. The latest one happened just this afternoon at Loop 463 and Highway 59. We brought it to you first as breaking news at 5, and tonight we're learning more about what may have triggered that accident. It's new tonight at 10 and first on News Center 25. Brianna Connor has been uncovering new details all day. She's live tonight in the newsroom with the very latest. Brianna. Those fatal accidents aren't just happening here in the crossroads. New tonight at 10 o'clock, 8 people, including 3 children, are dead after a fiery 2-car crash in East Texas tonight. Troopers say a car carrying 2 men from California crossed a center line on U.S. Highway 82 in the town of Anona, striking the car carrying a woman, her 3 children, and 2 other passengers. All 8 people in both of those cars died in that crash. Anona is about 150 miles northeast of Dallas. With the start of a new year just less than 26 hours away, plenty of people will be celebrating the start of 2012. Law enforcement officials will be out in force, making sure the celebrations don't turn deadly. The Victoria Police Department tells News Center 25 they will be doubling the number of patrols out on the road. They'll also be making courtesy checks in bars and restaurants, looking for people who may have had just one too many. Also reminding people to use designated drivers. If you do need a ride home this New Year's, Citizens Medical Center is offering its MASH service, which will pick up anyone until 4 a.m. on New Year's Day if they've had too much to drink. To call them for more information or to get a ride, the number 361-572-6274. Here's something else to think about while you're celebrating. Fireworks are illegal in most parts of the crossroads, but there is one place where you can light your fireworks without any worry. Saxett Lake Park will be open tomorrow evening at 5:30 through Sunday morning at 12:30 a.m. Victoria County fire officials and volunteer fire department will be on scene just as a precaution. Missiles with fins or skyrockets with sticks are banned in Victoria County, even inside of Saxett Lake Park. Just a reminder, it is illegal to discharge, manufacture, sell, or transport fireworks within Victoria city limits. Fines can range up to $2,000 for any of those violations. A number of government offices and services will be changed because of the New Year's holiday. All non-emergency offices will will be closed at the City of Victoria on Monday, January the 2nd. This also includes the library and the Hoover Recycling Center. Garbage and brush pickup will run on their normal schedules. Tonight, a Houston infant is safe after the child's caregiver was discovered dead this afternoon. Officials say the 68-year-old woman was feeding the boy in a high chair when she dropped dead of natural causes. The woman's grown son found the body, which may have been there for days. His mother was next to the high chair where the boy was still sitting. Tonight, the toddler is in good condition, being treated for dehydration. A San Antonio woman and former military member have been charged with selling more than $900,000 in stolen computers and uniforms from Fort Sam Houston near San Antonio. A federal indictment says Gabriela de la Masa and the unidentified ex-service member spent the money on 5 homes, credit card bills, and other items. They're now charged with theft of federal property, aggravated identity theft, conspiracy to launder money, and money laundering. Her alleged accomplice is accused of forging paperwork that made those thefts possible. If convicted, the duo could face a maximum of 20 years behind bars. The GOP race is reaching a fever pitch as the candidates enter the final weekend before voting starts. With 4 days until the Iowa caucuses, front-runner Mitt Romney is bringing out one of his big guns, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. While Romney does have a slight lead in the polls, Christie warned voters in Des Moines not to be complacent. Appearing at a book signing, an emotional Newt Gingrich choked up when recalling his late mother's struggle with mental illness. Gingrich has slipped to 5th in a new NBC Marist College poll, but the race is still fluid, with many Iowa Republicans still undecided. Longtime Texas Representative Ron Paul says if he doesn't receive the GOP nomination, he would have a hard time supporting his rivals in the race for the White House. During an interview, Paul said the field of candidates simply don't differ from Democrats. Paul has attracted support from the coalition of Tea Party supporters, students, and independents. A real-life mystery is unfolding tonight in Hollywood after an arsonist set more than a dozen blazes around Tinseltown overnight. A total of 19 fires were set in the LA area, with the majority of them in Hollywood. 6 of those fires spread from cars to homes and apartment buildings, causing hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage. One of those homes damaged belonged to former Doors frontman Jim Morrison. Investigators are using surveillance video to try and track down those responsible. A $60,000 reward has been offered in connection to information. 2 Maryland doctors facing murder charges related to abortions they allegedly performed tonight. Authorities say the abortions were late-term fetuses that were still viable. Police say they found several fetuses inside of a freezer chest at a clinic in Maryland where the duo worked. Stephen Brigham and Nicole O'Reilly are in jails in New Jersey and Utah awaiting extradition back to Maryland. Both men face 5 counts of first-degree murder, 5 counts of second-degree murder, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree. Bill, thank you so much. Happy New Year's to you, by the way.
You too, buddy.
All right, take a look at this video from Florida. A woman dragged nearly 40 feet across a grocery store parking lot. Look at this. As robbers tried stealing her purse, a car pulled up beside the woman, grabbed her purse, and she held on for as long as she could before they finally got away. Police caught up with one person after the car crashed into a fence. Right now, police there in Tampa searching for other suspects. Authorities believe the same group is behind 3 other robberies in that area. The woman, fortunately, just had a couple of cuts and bruises, but is expected to be okay. This might be one of the most bizarre things you've ever seen in a shopping center parking lot. Focus on that white SUV there. Look at what it's doing. Police in Alabama say a woman was driving erratically Thursday night when she hit a police car not once, but twice. And then she circled around an ambulance over and over again. At one point, police even fired a shot at her because they said she was headed in the officer's direction. Police did eventually arrest her. The woman was taken to a hospital for a mental evaluation. She's currently being charged with attempted murder. Fortunately, no one was injured. 2011 isn't ending pleasantly for one Michigan man. Get this, police rescued the man from his burning car, only to arrest him and put him behind bars. Police say the 32-year-old accidentally rested his foot on the gas pedal while drunk inside of his car, and that caused the engine to rev for a while, eventually catching the car on fire. After the rescue, the officer arrested the man, who is now being charged with operating under the influence. If you received an iPad or an iPad 2 for Christmas, you may want to take it back and wait for the new iPad 3. There are rumors swirling tonight a new version of the popular tablet will be hitting store shelves soon. A report from USA Today revealed 2 new versions of the iPad will be unveiled next month. The report says the new versions will have a 10-inch screen with dual LED light bars and cameras. Apple is hoping to compete with the Kindle Fire, which has been on fire and extremely popular with sales lately. Verizon Wireless is hanging up an idea that would have had customers paying a $2 convenience fee just to pay their bills, if I can get that out right. America's largest wireless carrier said yesterday it would charge customers $2 every time they pay their cell phone bills over the phone or online with a credit card. It lasted longer than Chris and Kim, but two of the world's most colorful personalities are calling it quits tonight. Actor and comedian Russell Brand has filed for divorce from singer Katy Perry. The two were wed in October of last year in India. Brand released a statement saying, "Sadly, Katy and I are ending our marriage. I'll always adore her, and we will remain friends." Stay with us, everyone. There's more News Center 25 at 10 o'clock. A few more revelers will be ringing in 2012 than 2011. That's because the U.S. Census Bureau says America's population will hit nearly 313 million on January 1st. That's up 1% from this time last year. The population will continue to grow in January. One birth is expected every 8 seconds, with one death occurring every 12 seconds. The census also found that international migration will add one person to the U.S. population every 46 seconds. Before you ring in 2012, there are some phrases you may want to leave behind in 2011. Lake Superior State University in Michigan released its annual list of words banished from the Queen's English for misuse, overuse, and general uselessness. Here are just some of the words. Baby bump, one of them. Shared sacrifice, that was made popular by members of Congress. Blowback, not really sure what that one is. Trickeration was being used by members of football analysts. It really wasn't a word, but they just made it up. Ginormous, and thank you in advance, which seems more like a phrase than a word. But those are just some of the words. There are a lot more after that.
Now, man cave should be kept in there, because there are a lot of people. It's
this is
popular
true.
to have man caves.
Man cave is one of those.
Have the big, flat screen TVs, watch the football, pop some popcorn, and just get in your man cave.
That's right. It was a good night to be in a man cave, especially if you were a high school basketball fan.
Yes, indeed. You had to get out of the cave to watch those game acts.
This is true. But you can watch it now, though.
That's right. Highlights. Friday Night Sports.
It was a year full of growth, potential, tragedy, tears, and even boots. It all happened right here in the Crossroads. Before we ring in 2012, News Center 25 anchor Sean Curry takes a look back at some of the area's biggest headlines of 2011. Already looking forward to what's going to happen in March of, or actually in the start of next year. All right, that is our time for now, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for this Friday night edition of News Center 25 at 10 o'clock.